In 2019, the English Premier Football League, the EPL, decided that it needed to add an extra layer of technology to the league. The call for an extra layer of technology was premeditated by the event that had happened in the past. The refereeing decisions that had tilted titles challenges to one way, refereeing decisions that had gotten some club relegated and others saved. And all of these controversies, we all thought and hoped, will be eliminated or at best reduced to its barest minimum with the introduction of a different layer of technology. But 5 seasons after, there has been a call for VAR to be scrapped. No, not get better, not improved upon, but scrapped. Welcome to the Football Show. My name is Umesi Daniel Chukwuemeka. On the Football Show, I talk to you about football stories I find interesting, try to make sense of them, and give you my perspective on them. If this is your first time here, I want you to please go on to like this, comment on it, and subscribe to my channel. It's the least I can ask. Because if you do, like, comment, and subscribe, it gives YouTube the sense that I'm doing something that you and other football fans find interesting, educative, and entertaining. And before we go into the VAR issues in England, before we dissect what Wolverhampton Wanderers, the team that sent in a proposal to the FA, let's take a little bit of history lesson here. I won't go too deep, but in 2019, it was said that the video assistant referee, a technology that was heavily used in tennis, lawn tennis that is, was to be introduced in the world of football. Then, FIFA chairman, FIFA president, the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, gave us a grand talk of why this is important. There was also rumors that it should be used at the FIFA World Cup to help referees make better decisions. And while the controversies around it were rife, with people saying it would kill the spirit of the game, we all were looking for fairness in refereeing decisions. And with fairness being at the centerpiece of these decisions, it was employed. Video assistant referee will be employed. The EPL in its first season did not have a smooth sail with video assistant refereeing, but it was better. The FIFA World Cup, on the other hand, had a terrible moment where a match had ended in the first half, and after reviewing the videos of an incident, players were called back for the penalty. Remember France? Yes. Let's not go into that because it probably would bring up very sore memories for football fans. But that has been some of the storied history of the video assistant referee, not just in the EPL, but in all the parts of the world. But for the English Premier League, the story has been slightly different. While major footballing leagues across Europe have adopted the video assistant referee, England has been at the center point of it. Of course, it's England. The EPL is the most profitable, most expensive, most watched league in the world. So it's expected that the referees in England will consistently get the number of eyeballs every other referees do not get. But before I go any further, just a little bit of fun fact, like she said, like Sheldon Cooper would say. Sweden is the only major footballing league in Europe that hasn't adopted the video assistant referee. So if you think that the EPL scrapping it might be the biggest of deals that happen in the world, the certain Sweden have set a precedent for not accepting VAR. Back to the story. So in 2019, after I was adopted, a lot of controversies were made. We started to look for innovative ways to improve it. Like every technology, its first few years will be rough. There will be mistakes made, as expected of every form of innovation or technology. And we saw it in 2019. Decisions that we thought were clear cut and easy to make were muddled up by the BR. But introductions were made. Now we had more referees in the video assistant refereeing room. Then we had monitors on the pitch. And all of this was supposed to help referees make better decisions. But it did. Referees making better decisions now than they were before the introduction of the VAR. Well, according to reports by the PGMOL and the Football Association in England, the refereeing decisions in the EPL has gotten better. About 14% improvement in right decisions from the referees due to VAR. Before now, according to the start, it was 82% refereeing decisions gotten right, and with the introduction of the VAR, it's now improved to as much as 96%. That is beautiful, right? Hooray! But The big but is we're not asking ourselves what exactly these decisions have been and who made the statistics. I'm not one to doubt things like this, but we've seen too many times and we have been exposed too many times to statistics brought out of thin air. I'm not saying this is, but how can we trust that this is a good start? You know how it is when you want to make an argument for something to be, and then you put up numbers to credibilize or to put some level of credibility behind your argument. This feels like it. Because football fans across the world don't feel like there has been any improvement. Well, some slight improvement have been, but many don't feel it that way. But for Wolverhampton Wanderers, the reason they had gone to the FA and sent the letter proposal to scrap the VAR from next season is that first, they believe that the VAR was killing the spirit of the game, and secondly, that the VAR was inconsistent in its decisions. Now, with the argument as to the VAR killing the spirit of the game, I'm not going to deny it kills the spirit of the game. Imagine going to a football stadium, for example, you're a Manchester United fan and it is United versus Man City. It is a penultimate match to decide who wins the league between United and City. Whoever wins this one has their destiny in their hands. The game is in the 90th minute. Extra time, 5 minutes given, and it's ticking and elapsing. One goal off the head of Marcus Rashford, and boom, the fans should be excited. Their hands should be in the air, their face lit up with joy because finally, for the first time in almost a decade, United were finally getting one over their city rivals, the blue side of Manchester. But the fans can't. They hold their breath, hands in their mouth, eyes wide open, expecting the referee to blow the whistle. But the referee doesn't blow because he has to check the video. He's not sure if it's a goal or whether or not somebody had impinged on Marcus Rashford. He's not certain whether or not a Rasmus Højlund was offside or a Amad Diallo had tricked somebody some 50 meters before the goal came in. So everybody is tensed. We're going to the VAR. The referees at the other end of the VAR room are communicating with the center referee, telling him what they think the issue should be. 1 minute is gone, then two. After constant back and forth between the referee on the center referee and the referees in the VAR room, the center referee goes to the monitor. He looks at the images from different angles, 3D angles, 4D angles, 5D angles, and he's trying to understand what exactly he should make. Was the trip on Amad Diallo in any way important to the goal? Was Marcus Rashford 0.001 centimeters offside? Was Rasmus Højlund touched in a way that could have employed him or stopped him from getting to the ball before Marcus Rashford? All of these questions are begging to be answered. And the fans, adrenaline waiting to be released, shouts of joy or pain waiting to burst open from their mouths and their hearts are kept locked in because we have to wait for the VR. Now, while that might be extra dramatic, it gives you an idea of what VAR has done to the spirit of the game. Football is exciting. Football is a sport that gets us all up in our feelings, that gets us all up excited, sometimes sad, sometimes not so sad, sometimes just there. Football gets us to become philosophers, philosophizing as to why Arsenal will never win the league but deserve to win it. Football gets us explaining why Jurgen Klopp is one of the best managers in EPL, even though he has won only one EPL title. That's what football does for us. It brings out the Shakespeare, the Socrates, the deeper sense of belief, of sense, of connection to something. And so imagine we always have to hold our breath to express the deepest part of us because the referee is unsure of the decision. While sports like the NBA and tennis can deal with it, they are not football. The NBA is not football. For heaven's goodness sake, man, the NBA has to have halftime breaks for people to dance on the court. Somebody would say if the NBA was so exciting, it wouldn't need halftime breaks for dancing. We don't need that. We don't do that in football because football, in and of itself, in its purest of form, is exciting. It is adrenaline pumping. So you can understand why football fans were skeptical about the introduction of VAR to the game. But here we are. And that argument does hold true. We've seen too many moments in football where the VAR took away the excitement from some of the moments we should have enjoyed very much, but also adds a layer of excitement to some too. But all of that argument is a bit double-edged. Some would say it's good because now we don't have to live for years with the bad decisions, even though it robs off of present excitement. While some would say the excitement that we get to enjoy in those moments are what makes football football. But the bigger question is, Wolverhampton Wanderers are aggrieved because the VAR has robbed them of points. They give examples of different matches in the season where the VAR did not exactly do well for them. And I can understand their fear. I can understand their queries of the VAR and the decisions made. But the question we should be asking, and I think we sometimes aren't asking, is VAR the problem? Are the videos the problem? I remember a match between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, where the goal that Tottenham, I think it was Newcastle, not Tottenham, Arsenal and Newcastle United this season, when Newcastle had beaten Arsenal, I think a goal to 2-1, I can't remember the scoreline, but there was a controversial decision where a ball was supposedly out of the line, but it was gotten by a Newcastle player, and the resulting cross from that goal from that ball led to a goal for Newcastle, ensuring that Arsenal got beaten. And of course, Mikel Arteta and football pundits like Gary Neville and Jimmy Carragher went ballistic as to the effect of VAR, the different angles they looked at, and whether or not it should have stood or shouldn't have stood, and all of this ensued. So we've seen decisions by the VAR that has been controversial. Some say the angles sometimes do not give us proper context. Some say also that slow-mo sometimes either amplifies situation than it's supposed to or diminishes it more than it is because football is fast-paced and the actions in real time are different from the actions in slow-mo. We can't always make the best decisions from those slow-mos. But all of this are arguments for and against VR. But the biggest question is who makes the final decisions? While I understand that the VAR needs some improvement in terms of the video angles, in terms of the rules surrounding how decisions are made with it, I think the most important part of this conversation is the center referee. What does he do? The reason why I'm going to call the center referee as the most important part of this is just some months ago in Cote d'Ivoire, here in the continent of Africa. You thought about continent? You're welcome. We love it. I'm just joking. We saw the impeccable performance of African referees used in the VAR. It was flawless. For football fans in Africa who can be quite critical of everything Africa, who consistently compare what we have to what Europeans have, we were more than astonished by the success of the VAR in Africa. The success rate, I do not know the numbers, probably around 98 to 99%, because I did not see anywhere where football fans criticize the refereeing decisions made using the VAR as bad. Yes, we all have our emotions that play that come before, but we didn't have those moments. The VAR was perfect. We've seen in Spain, we've seen in Italy, we've seen in the Netherlands, in other European countries where the VAR was used effectively. Now, I'm not saying that the VAR at the African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire totally eliminated every form of mistake. But boy, we did not have the level of complaints like we're having now with the EPL. So what then is the problem? The referees. It's simple. If the referees do not know how to make good decisions, then there's absolutely nothing the video assistant referee can do. We fail to forget that they are called video assistant referees. Their job is to assist the center referee in making the final decision. The VAR referees cannot make a decision for the center referee. So, if the assistant do their job and the head do not do its job, who takes the blame? The assistant or the head? Because I know in England that criticizing referees, it's like touching the hems of Jesus' garment when in his holy halo chamber praying. It is abominable to talk about center referees and the terrible decisions they make. Remember Jose Mourinho's famous comment, if I speak, I'll be banned for life. Remember comments by Mikel Arteta this season and last season, how he criticized referee decisions and he got banned and fined. So you can't say that the center referees are bad and the decisions are terrible. Remember, I cited Anthony Taylor and his growls with Chelsea. All of these issues are the things we are failing to bring to term. Now, the problem isn't with the VAR. The problem is with the center referees. Center referees are not doing their job. And until they do their job, we can't have these conversations. And while I understand that football clubs like Wolverhampton Wanderers, football clubs like Nottingham Forest, who complained this season several times about decisions, have the right to complain and have a right to pass the buck on the VAR, I think the majority of the problems and the questions should rest on the table of center referees. And do you know why this is? Do you know why center referees in the EPL seem to get more center stage than the footballers who are the center actors? Because they just want to be the center of attraction. Like there's absolutely no way they will explain to me how certain decisions were made that beat common football sense. Remember Chelsea Tottenham with Thomas Tuchel and Mauricio Pochettino and Thomas Tuchel rather and Antonio Conte as coaches. Remember the pulling of Cucurella's hair that led to a goal. Like those decisions that were obviously visible to the blind and audible to the deaf in the words of Obay Agba should show you that it's not so much about the VAR as it is about the censor referees. So while we can complain about the video assistant referees, censor referees in the EPL would have to take away the central figure syndrome that they have. You are not the point of attraction. We're not here to watch you, brother. We're here to watch the players. And if you cannot take yourself off the points of attraction, if the conversation after every match weekday is not what the referee should have done and didn't do, then there's a problem. You don't need to scrub the VAR. You just need to get your center referees making better decisions. They need to stop feeling like they are the center of attraction. And I would advise that the EPL should come to Africa. We've got some good referees for you. We have a good CV from the AFCON you can take and leave off. Come, let us teach you how to use it. Come to Africa. We will give you some referees and probably help you improve your EPL. But here's the thing. The problem isn't with the VAR. The problem is with the center referees trying to be the center of attraction. While scrapping the VAR will save some people money, I saw somewhere that about 22 billion naira was needed for the VAR to be implemented, in the EPM English Championship. I understand that a lot of money is being put into basic technology, the referees being paid for each match, and all of that. But I don't think it has helped to make decisions better in and of itself. I think the poor decisions, which I don't believe is a VR problem, it's not a function of VR. The videos are giving you what you need. The center referees are just making terrible decisions. And please, should I add here that can we stop changing the rules of the game every 2 market days? For heaven's sake, people, let the rules be consistent. Like every day, the offside rule changes. Every day, there's a new addition to the rules. Like you all are making football become so boring. And while I understand also that the VAR sort of takes away from the excitement of the game, I think if you watch the AFCON, you will know it did not take so much excitement because referees were not spending 30 minutes looking at a video. They knew the decision they wanted to make. They were trained to make smarter and sharper decisions. And I should also add, yes, that over reliance on the VAR sort of kills referees' footballing and refereeing instincts. Football referees are supposed to have some of the sharpest instincts and make decisions as fast as they can. And if you let them rely solely at every single moment of the game on the VAR, it kills that instinct. You know that thing about not using it so frequently and it becoming dormant and just not being used anymore? I think that's what is happening here. We are letting referees kill their foot refereeing instincts because of video assistant referees. The VAR should be assistants, not center referees. And please, the problem is not with the videos. The problem are with the center referees. If they can take themselves off the center of attraction, then they can do better. Come to Africa EPL. PGMOL, come let us give you some referees. Would help you. We're not stingy like that. Pay us well though, because you all can do that same thing elsewhere. You don't pay us well. Pay us well and would help you. And don't scrap the VAR, because if you do, I don't know. A part of me says scrap it because, but I don't think it's a problem. I think the problem is that center referees are trying so hard to be the center of attraction, and you can't be that. And although the words of Tony Scholes, the chairman, I think, of the Football League in England, says, yes, VR has been impressive, but decisions have been slow. I think that is some what I've been saying, people. The referees need to have their instincts and wit about them again. You can't take that away from them. And please come to Africa. Thank you for watching my podcast today. You can be a part of this. Like, please comment, subscribe to my channel, and share with your friends.